So, um, I was thinking, should I make a video about this? But you know what? I will because I think that I rather have everything I need to say before I can. Now, uh, as you know, as a target individual, this program is meant to make somebody accept this manipulation. At this point, we're all aware that this mental manipulation, mind control type of program have been ongoing for decades. Well, what's happening today is just, a result of what's been done since the 50s and even maybe earlier, right? And so now, obviously, the sophistications of the tactics are to another level, and there's much more involvement from people around you. There's a bunch of people contracted that lives around you to make you accept these manipulations. Now, there are the obvious manipulation that you experience every day. You get the disturbing thoughts, the disturbing stimulations, the disturbing, tormenting thoughts and experience that you have. I've talked about it a lot, right? And they try to get you to accept this. But obviously, for me, you know yourself enough to know that this is not happening organically, right? And you have people around you that are trying to get you to accept this thing. You hear noise campaign, people yelling in the hallways. They're all part of this program that is pushing a subject to accept this manipulation. We know the sources of these tactics and this program are coming from this intelligence community. So in the midst of them trying to get you to accept this false persona, reality tend to come back and we know who's those people that you're trying to portray me as, right? You actually are employed and contracted by those kind of people. Your job is to make me accept this thing so I can. It breaks people down. It's disgusting. You can't live a normal life with experiencing this nonstop. It's disgusting, and they find ways to try to counter. And as I'm saying that, they do this one thing immediately that they do to mess with me. And so they do this thing. They try to counter the obvious manipulations. And a lot of the counter happens meant in the mind. Right now, they're just like, oh, no, they try to counter the obviousness. They are doing this nasty manipulations. This is how I'm going to experience things. And they're going to try to make you frustrated in one way or another. Right now, as I'm speaking, they're really using a lot of mental torment in the sense that no, it's just because we're in your head, trying to stop me from saying things like that. Their goal is to get you to lose yourself and identify to this nastiness. Obviously, it's not going to happen. That's why I make videos. At this point, I have over 100 videos, and that's on purpose. I want to be sure that for this purpose that I contracted to make you accept these manipulations, they never think that I ever doubted that I was whatever they're forcing me to experience. I know these manipulations is what they do. But they want you to be buried into this false reality. But this technology, you can't combat that. There is no winning or losing. Your brain, you're a subject, and your brain is being manipulated in so many ways. There's nothing you can do. You're a civilian. You're just a subject. They don't pick people who can actually protect themselves. I don't think there's that many, but definitely not somebody who's a civilian who's we're talking about entities that are governmental with unlimited resources, and we are just just one of many around the world. This is a program that is global, and they don't pick billionaires or things like people who can actually have ways to somehow put up somewhat of a fight to this. We, most of us are as just civilians who, maybe there might be a millionaire here and there, but reality is that the people who cannot combat or do anything to really prevent what's happening. Right? We just deal with it and we try to live as long as we can through this situation. But what they try to do is to try to gaslight you in many ways. Now, the obvious manipulations. Those you can't miss. You can't, you know that it's happening. The nasty stimulations, the perceptions, the thoughts, all of that, you know, right? Some thoughts you know more than others. Some is just so nasty that you like, this too nasty. I will never think of that. I'll never think like that. I'll never think like that. I'll never have those disturbing thoughts. I will never have those disturbing stimulations. I will never have this arousing things that you do to me, like this stimulation of my libido. And they do these things to try to combat that. But that is for sure, is them. Now, obviously, there's thoughts that are a little bit more camouflage because they're not too disturbing. They're not They're not pedophilia-centric. They're not, they're just like, thoughts are just, okay, reasonable. And sometimes they use those thoughts to gaslight you. Because everybody around you, right, are supposed to make you subscribe to whatever they're doing to you. Manipulation consists of also devices being manipulated, electronic devices. As I'm saying that, I'm hearing a noise campaign from a next door neighbor. As contracted, she's supposed to do what she's supposed to do. She opens the door and she say, "You are." This is try to disorient you while you're able to put things in the right perspective. That's what they contracted to do. These people call it being at war. Right? And then they say things that are just annoying to just agitate you. All that for disorienting you. Because you're saying that there's things that is not easy to tell. Right? If they're doing something, or you are not sure if they're doing something to it. You're not certain. Maybe they're doing something. Maybe they're not doing something. You don't know. But it makes sense when you're in an environment where entities are manipulating almost everything, if not everything, to think that maybe this thing is also being manipulated, right? It's only logical. So for me, what they've done with this is they start pushing me to have more questioning moments, meaning that, times where I would not even think, okay, are they doing this? They start making you think, oh, maybe they're doing this. And it usually comes to like things that is electronic, not even electronic, devices related, things that I wouldn't really know, right? Sometime something happens to my phone. It's like, did they do this or is that just my phone, right? You don't know exactly. You won't know, but you know that they have access to your phone and they have controlled your phone. They have done things to your phone or your computer. Right, and they made it known. So now when there's anything, you're like, oh, is that them or is it? So this is a natural response. But what they've done now is they've started weaponizing it, because that's the unknown that you don't really you're not sure. You're just like asking yourself, are they doing it? Are they like just your mind? And now what they've done is they've started creating more of those questioning moments when you don't even care about it. The reason why they do that is because if you blame them or you think they've done something on this thing on your phone, for example, your phone is slow, right? And it's basically just the phone, it's not them. What's happening is they then come back and say, you see, you thought it was us. So now all this thing that that we're doing is not us, because you thought this moment was us. Because this moment is the moment that you're not sure. You don't know when they're going to manipulate your phone. If they manipulate your phone, that's something that you don't know usually, because it's not something that you can experience and see and feel like you don't know that. You just can be like, are they manipulating? Are they not? I'm not sure. And then you find out, oh, they're not. And they're like, you see, you thought it was us. So what we're doing to you is natural. This is gaslighting. They try to bury you into this doubt that you should not be doubtful. I understand there's things that you don't know if they're doing it or not. It's good to be aware that they have capability to do things to you, but to your phone. But are they doing this time or not? Just those moments. It's okay to be questioning, asking yourself, are they doing something to you? Are they doing something to your computer? Are they doing something to your phone? Is this because they're doing something to your phone? Those things you don't know. Me personally, I don't know. I'm not, I'm not in IT. I don't know. Sometimes I see my phone be frozen for no reason. Sometimes I see stop functioning properly, freezing up, not wanting to play a video, or not moving around. So I know they've done it. My camera stopped working. My microphone sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. Sometimes stop working. But I see that, right? But there's moments I'm not sure. And so they've started like weaponizing those moments, forcing you, because there's times I don't even care. It's like, whatever. If it's them, if it's not them, I don't care. Whatever. They start like making me imagine they did it when you don't even care if they did it or not. Like, you don't care. It's like, this is just, okay, let me just wait for a second and it's going to come back. I don't know if it's them or not, but this is not something I care much about. And they start making you think, oh, they this is them, they do this and that, and they force you to have those thoughts. Because at the end, you're going to find out, oh, no, this is just the phone not functioning well. Just, And then they're like, oh, you see, you blame us, huh? Oh, we did it, huh? And they start like, oh, we did this thing to you in your brain. This is, okay, that's us, right? Oh, yeah, it's you. Right? They try to start gaslighting. It's like, no, listen, I don't even have doubt that you manipulate me. Forget about even try to go there. I just don't know when you're playing with my phone or not. I don't know when you're playing with my computer or not. I'm not sure about that. This is the things that I can, I'm not sure. But I'm sure about what you do to me directly, to my mind, in regard of how I'm thinking. And of course, there's much more that's going on that I don't know that's happening to me, health-wise specifically. There's a lot of things but in regard of how I'm thinking, how I'm processing things, how I'm reacting to things, how I'm being forced to get those stimulations, those thoughts, these dreams, all of that. There's no doubt. This is what you guys do. Those are the 100% sure. You know that. You're aware of that. You know that. So much I don't know that's happening, and so much I don't know that's happening to my computer and my phone device. So I'm like, every time there's something a little off, I was like, oh, is that them? Is that like this is a normal way to react to an environment that is completely manipulated in a way to break you down. But you have people who are trying to use those moments as a way to gaslight you. And so what they've done is now forcing those thoughts where you are forced to think, is that them? Or they did this and that, and they did that to my computer, and try to force you and make you think further and further, and then realize, oh, no, it's just this computer thing, this thing. To then later on say, oh, you see? You start thinking it was us. Just like this pedophilia type of torture. You think it's, and try go into the things that obviously manipulate. Right? This is gaslighting. And sometimes, even if it's a forced thought, it's actually a thought that is making sense. For example, not too long ago, I was getting like this. I was looking for something on Google, right? And I searched twice, and the second Google result wasn't the same, right? I think they push me to things like, are they manipulating the Google result I'm getting, the result I'm getting on Google? Is it being manipulated? Now, it's something I should be asking, actually, even though I think they start making me think this way. But this is not that's not a bad thought. In the sense of, maybe that's why I should ask myself sometimes, like, are they manipulating those Google results? Because they're manipulating so much things. That's definitely possible. Now, I don't think they're manipulating that, especially not the one I was talking about. There's others where I'm like, okay, I think I'm leaning toward more they're manipulating. This one, I'm like, maybe I'm thinking like 85%, 90% they're not manipulating. Maybe a 10% maybe they're manipulating, right? It was nothing important. It's just something that's not going to annoy me, whatever. So that I don't think. But there's some definitely other Google result. I was like, okay, they're manipulating that a little bit, because this result are just disgusting. Not disgusting, but they were just like something completely off, and it was just something. And then I looked it up again. I was like, oh, it was gone. And I was like, okay, they just tried to mess with me because they knew I was going to take a screenshot and talk about it or something. Then that I'm like, yeah, I'm leaning toward they manipulate those Google results. But this one, I'm like, most likely they're not. And most likely this was kind of forced for me to start thinking that way, because this is not something I would care if I didn't get the same result. right? But they start making me think, oh, is that, are they messing with the result there? Which is, it's a logical way of thinking in the state that I'm in, because they are manipulating everything around me. But now they try to gaslight you for questioning you questioning them for thinking, are they doing something to my Google results? Am I getting the results that I'm seeing because they are manipulating those results of the searches, like the result of those Google search results? You start asking yourself that, which, like I said, this is logical. You should be questioning those things because your whole environment is controlled and orchestrated. They can obviously control those results. They can easily do these things. I mean, they have ability to manipulate your brain. Google results, of course they can do this. They have access of all these things. So yes, they're capable of doing that. Now, is this happening now? Maybe not in this Google moment. And I honestly don't think in that moment. I mean, majority, I'm thinking like 90% they didn't do anything. Maybe there's a 10% chance they did. This is how it goes, because I don't know about this. But they start gaslighting. Oh, you see, you question, you see, yeah, we did that. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's us, right? Try to use that as a gaslighting method because the obvious things that they do to you, but those things, those Google results that you get, are they what they manipulate and put together? Like, is that something, the result, are they being played with to get those results that I'm seeing? I was looking for something in the zodiac or something like that, right? Just some it doesn't matter or anything, but I was like, okay, whoa, are they playing with this result? Now, I don't care if they did. I actually don't think they actually did. This may be like a small percentage that maybe they might have done something, but I'm not sure. But that moment, me questioning that became a way for them to gaslight you into like, oh, now these nasty things that you get, these pedophilia stimulations and reactions and dreams and thoughts and what, oh, that's you see? No, those are the things I'm 100% sure. There's no like, oh, I'm like 80%. No, I'm 100% sure that you manipulate me in this disturbing fashion. This result, the devices, I'm getting, like, this is something I'll never really know. Sometimes I think maybe you do something, maybe you don't do something. I don't know about that, but I know what you're doing to me and how I'm thinking because I know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand. So, target individual, this is all methods of gaslighting. This is a program that is meant to break people down and make them accept this nastiness and break them down psychologically, physically, and any other way possible. So this is why I make these videos, because I understand the value of speaking while you can, because there'll be a moment when I won't be able to say these things. And you have this purpose, doing what they're supposed to do as contractors to do these horrible things to people and want you to accept these things. So while I can say things, when I can talk about it, I will. Then whatever's going to happen to me, I feel at least, okay, I say everything I need to say now. God give me strength for what they're going to do to me, because it's going to be a theater to try to make me subscribe to their fantasies of this persona they've put together, which I will never subscribe to. And I know that to them, that's they don't like that. And so everything is going to be done, and in order for me to at least make it appear like they're really believing in this falsified persona they've created. And so they're going to create a theater, and the theater is going to be torturous. But I'm asking God to give me strength, and most importantly, I'm thankful that I didn't have to live the life that these bottom feeders working for these entities, contracted by these entities. I'm glad I never had to do what they're doing or somehow involve myself in the way they got involved. Thank you, God. Now, give me strength, God, because whatever is going to happen to me, for this theater, for them to delude themselves in their little fantasy they've put together, to create this fantasy where there's some Avengers or whatever, when in reality they're part of a program that does such horrible things to some of the most vulnerable people. do the nastiest. I mean, literally, like it's just imagine selling your soul to entities that are that are some of the most disturbing entities you can imagine. But you try to maintain this facade. This is what they've done, and it didn't take much. So to all my target individuals, stay strong and understand that you do not subscribe, regardless of all the different gaslighting methods they've been forcing you to utilize on you. And like I said, the technology is sophistication to the nth degree. Do not be fooled by the sophistication. It's also this sophistication of this technology is also used to gaslight you. It's like, you see, I could say what you're going to do tomorrow. Yes, I know this is what the program can do. And what the program also supposed to be doing is to make you accept these changes, to make you accept this new persona. Do not subscribe to it to your last breath.